Hello friend, this is Dr. Asita Gewari. Today we will see the methods of performance appraisal. In the last session, we have covered the part of the meaning of performance appraisal, then the process of the performance appraisal. Afterward, we have discussed the uses of the performance appraisal as well. So in today's session, we will cover the different methods of performance appraisal that is used by the employer, and in the last part of the session, we will cover what uh, errors occurred during the performance appraisal. Uh, as we have seen in the last lecture, the performance appraisal is like a assessment of the employee. It may be a past oriented or it may be a future oriented. So, for the performance appraisal, the first step is to set the goal, then communicate the goals to the employee, then compare the actual performance with uh, uh, the standards, and then compare by after comparing, then discuss the feedback with the that particular employee. Now performance appraisal methods are basically divided in two parts, that is past oriented evaluation method and future oriented evaluation method. Different authors bifurcated the performance appraisal method in different ways. In some of the author differentiated the performance appraisal method like behavior oriented performance appraisal, rating oriented performance appraisal, qualitative performance appraisal. Some author differentiated performance appraisal in the manner modern method and traditional method. Now, I have here discussed the past oriented evaluation method of the performance appraisal and the future oriented evaluation method. So, in this slide, you can see the list of the performance appraisal which is considered to be a past oriented: confidential report, essay evaluation, critical incidence technique, checklist, graphic rating scale, force choice method, ranking, pair comparison, force distribution, group appraisal, and the field review technique. So these methods are called as a past oriented evaluation method. Why it is called as a past oriented evaluation method? Because under this performance appraisal method, the performance of the employee was evaluated uh, of the last 1 year or whatever the performance appraisal period. So that's whatever the that employee had done in the past, that was evaluated by using this method. That's why it is called as a past oriented evaluation method. Now uh, the next part of the performance appraisal is the future oriented. So under future oriented evaluation method, the method comes like BARS, behaviorally anchored rating scale, MBO, management by objective, uh, performance appraisal method, assessment center, HRA, HR accounting, psychological test, psychological appraisal, and 360-degree feedback. These are the future oriented evaluation method. And under these methods, most of the time, the what is the future capability or potential of that employee, that is to be assessed. So whether that employee is able to hold the higher responsibility or not, that is assessed by using these methods. Now we'll discuss one by one each and every method. Now, first we'll start with the confidential report. As we discussed, this is the past-oriented method in the confidential report, or this is also known as an annual confidential report, or in short ACR. So at the end of the year, this report was prepared by the immediate supervisor, and here in that report, uh, the strength and weaknesses of the employees are highlighted, and mainly in government organization this method was adopted. Now, as the name says, it is a confidential report, so it does not offer any feedback to the employee. As it is not offering a feedback to the employee, so appraisee doesn't know about where he is falling, uh, and what are the ratings of others as compared with him, so and how he can rectify the mistake. So the appraisee does not know about why his rating have fallen despite his best efforts, why others are rated high when compared to him, how to rectify his mistake. That's why the name for this appraisal method is the confidential report, and it is a descriptive report. Um, this typically ACR shall have the information about the attendance of the employee, ability to work with the others, the behavior with the others, initiative, technical ability means the job knowledge, integrity. This integrity, it may be defined by the management. Uh, According to that, uh, the supervisor has to provide the feedback about the employee's integrity, responsibility, etc. So the description has to be provided by the supervisor, and that description is forwarded to the HR manager or HR department. Now, due to the this actually, because of the confidentiality, it comes there are, because of the trade union and the courts pressure nowadays, the negative part of the employees are given, or given as if in the form of a feedback to the employee. Next method is the essay method, essay evaluation method. It is also in a descriptive manner. Here, the rater is asked the strong as well as the weak points of the employee's behavior. That means here in the essay evaluation method, the supervisor or the rater has to highlight the strength and weaknesses of the employee, and in the form of the description. So this report should contain the job knowledge, what potential of that particular employee, understanding of whether that employee understood the company's program, policies, objective, relation with the co-workers, supervisor, planning, organizing, and controlling ability of the employee, attitude and perception, and development needs for the future. So this description is always factual and concrete, not in a quantitative manner. As I said, it is in the form of the description. The evaluation is in the form of the description. So it has a limitation as well. It is highly subjective because there is no quantitative feedback is provided over here. So whatever the rater feels about that employee, he can write in that evaluation. And so maybe supervisor write in a biased way as well. And suppose if the rater is not effective writer, so he may find difficult while writing this essay evaluation. And maybe the person write it in a very hurriedly when the actual performance appraisal period comes. So at that time, maybe he will not write properly of the actual performance of the worker. So a busy appraiser may write the essay hurriedly without assessing properly the actual performance of the worker. And it takes time, it is a time consuming. So maybe it is a very uneconomical from the point of view of the firm. Or if the busy supervisor may not write it properly. So these are the limitations of regarding the essay evaluation method. Hope you understood both the methods. Now we will see the next. Now these two methods are used in the 1990s. After that, many many new ways are coming for the for the performance appraisal method. Now, we'll see the critical incident technique. Nowadays, also this critical incident technique are used by the many companies. Here, the manager or the supervisor has to record the list of the very effective and ineffective behavior of an employee. So whenever that manager feels that the employee is showing a very effective performance or the ineffective performance, he record or he note down in a diary. So this, and that is called as a critical incident. Critical means extreme end incidences. Extreme end means where the performance is of high quality and where the performance is of low quality or poor performance. So these critical incidents represent the outstanding or the poor behavior of the employees. The manager periodically records the critical incidences of the employees' behavior, and that is what the critical incidence technique. Now we'll see what the example of the critical incidences. See, for the assistant plant manager. Now, for the assistant plant manager, what are his prime responsibilities? That scheduling the production of the plant without interruption, without any delay. So that is one of the important duty of the assistant plant manager. Then procurement of the raw material, that is the purchasing. He has to supervise the purchasing of the raw material as well as inventory control. And inventory control means the inventory control cost should not be too high, as well as there should be a uninterrupted production should happen in the plant. Then one more duty is that supervise the machinery maintenance. So there should not be a breakdown or shutdown due to the faulty machinery. So these are the prime duties of the plant manager, assistant plant manager. Now we'll see this schedule production for the plant. Now what is the target? For that duty, 90% utilization of the personnel and machinery in plant, and orders delivered on time. That means whatever the orders are there, there should not be a pending order, as well as utilization of machinery and the personnel. Now, according to this, the critical incidences happen like instituted new production scheduling system by that assistant plant manager, decrease the late orders by 10% last month, increase the machine utilization in plant by 20% last month. So these are the critical incidences for this particular duty. Now next duty is supervise procurement of raw materials and the inventory control. Uh, for that, the target is minimize the inventory cost while keeping the adequate supplies on hand. That means he has to minimize the inventory cost. Besides that, there should be a adequate supplies of that raw material for the production. So there should not be any interruption during the production process. Now, what are the critical incidences for this? Let the inventory storage cost rise 15% last month. Now, this is what the poor performance. So, over ordered parts A and B by 20% and unordered part C by 30%. Now, see, this critical incident is for the superior performance, and this critical incident is for the poor performance. That is recorded by the immediate supervisor. So maybe the immediate supervisor for the assistant plant manager is the plant manager. So maybe he record these critical incidences. Now, next is the supervisor supervise the machinery maintenance. So what is the target? No shutdowns due to faulty machinery. So what he did, the assistant plant manager in the particular month maybe instituted new preventive maintenance system for the plant. So he developed new preventive maintenance system. Prevented a machine breakdown by discovering the faulty parts. So this is the for the extremely good performance incident. So the plant manager recorded these critical incidences periodically. But it has some drawbacks as well. Here for the sales executive, the critical example for the sales executive. On July 20, one of the sales executive, sales clerk, patiently attended to the customer's complaint. He is polite, prompt, and enthusiastic in solving the customer's problem. So that is what his behavior on that particular day. Well, the another sales assistant on that particular day, how he behaved, the sales assistant stayed 45 minutes beyond his break during the busiest part of the day. He failed to answer stalled manager's call thrice. He is lazy, negligent, stubborn, and uninterested in the work. So, in that way, his supervisor or the manager noted down that incidences. As this has a limitation as well, that negative incidents may be more noticeable than the positive incidences, as the human tendency is that we generally notice the negative incidences very quickly. So it may happen that the that negative incidences noted down by the manager quickly than the positive incidences. And supervisor have a tendency to unload a series of complaints about the incidences. Like in this case, it has happened like this way. He is lazy, negligent, stubborn, uninterested in the work. So whatever the complaints the supervisor has, he has noted down all the things. And, and to note down these critical incidences, obviously supervisor required a close supervision towards the employee, and which may not be liked by the employee. And the recording of the incidents may be core for the manager concerned, who may be too busy or forget to do it. So it may be a tedious job for the manager who may be a busy and who has a tendency of quickly forget the things. Now, next method is the checklist. Checklist, as the name suggests, we check the list whether it is that particular thing is present or not. So in the checklist, a set of objectives or descriptive statements about the employee and his behavior is present. Like here in this example, you can see the descriptive statement about the employee and his behavior is present. Is employee regular? And along with yes, no. And the manager or the supervisor or the rater has to tick on this, either on this. If the super rater feels that the employee is regular, he can tick on the yes. Is employee respected by the subordinate? Yes, no. Is employee helpful? Yes, no. Does he follow the instruction? That means you can see these statements are uh, about the performance or about the behavior of the employee. Does he keep the equipment in order? Yes, no. So uh, on this in this way, the first of all the checklist is prepared and the rater has to tick on either yes or no part. And this list, this report has to be submitted to the HR department. And after submission of the HR department, may HR department can use the weighted checklist. Now, that means weighted checklist means for every yes, how much weightage has to be given on the basis of the important. And so weighted checklist means value of each question may be weighted. Like maybe the HR department provide for this 5 for yes and 0 for no. So like that way. So weightage, that means value or marks, we can say in a simple way. The marks are given for the that yes and no. Like see, is employee respected by the subordinate? Like here, maybe the HR department provide the here to 0 like this way. And afterward, the score of the each employee can be calculated. So in this way, this appraisal method tended towards the quantitative appraisal method. Now, so after this, most of the appraisal methods are in a quantitative nature, because through the qualitative nature of the appraisal method, it may not be possible to judge the employee appropriately. Now, the next quantitative method of the appraisal is the graphic rating scale. As in the last semester, you have seen the in the course of the BRM, business research methods, the graphic rating scale. On the similar line, this appraisal method has been developed. So here a form is used to evaluate the performance of the employee. A variety of traits may be used in this device, that means in this form. The most common being on the quality and the quantity of the work. So here the traits or the behavior of the employee that has been decided, and that traits are mainly based on the quality and the quantity of the work. And this method is very easy to understand and use, and permits the statistical tabulation of scores of the employees. Just now I said to you that this is a quantitative method. So we can make up the score of the employee. This is necessary for the decision on salary increase and the promotion. We'll see one example of the graphic rating scale. After seeing this example, you may recall the BRM course graphic rating scale. So see here, the table is prepared in this way. In column, the traits, performance traits are noted down, and on the row wise, the rating is there. Rating means excellent, good, average, fair, and poor. So if the rater feels that the attitude of the particular employee is excellent, he can tick on this part in this row, in this particular cell. So suppose the knowledge of the work, suppose the rater feels that the knowledge of the work for that employee is average, so he can tick on this in this particular cell. Like this way, they can tick on the for particular performance traits. So here the list of the performance traits are noted down in column wise, and then in the row wise the rating is provided. That's why it is called as a graphic rating scale. And we can calculate the score of every employee for that for every employee. So this method is easy and does not require any writing ability, like as in essay method or in the critical incidents method or in the confidential report. The rater has to write write the about the performance of the employee. But here it is not so. So the method is easy to understand and use, and as well as this can be used for the comparison among the same grade of the employees. So comparison among the pairs is possible. After calculating overall score, we can compare the scores with each other, and based on that the company or employer or the management can take a decision of the salary increase as well as promotion. So this is about the graphic rating scale. Now next method is the four choice method. See, most of the appraisal methods are generally we have to focus on the name. So through the name we can understand what it means. So force choice. So forcefully you have to choose the statements which is present oftenly present in pairs. One is favorable statement and other is the unfavorable statement. And forcefully the rater has to choose the either favorable statement or the unfavorable statement. So these methods require the rater to choose from the statements often in pairs. So that statement occurred in a pairwise, one which is very favorable and the other is the extremely unfavorable statement. So the statement, however, are designed to distinguish between successful and unsuccessful uh, performance. So here, um, firstly, they design this form, and from this list of the pairs, the rater has to choose the statement. The rater selects one statement from the pair without knowing which statement correctly describes successful job behavior. So here the rater is not preparing this list of the statement. The ready-made list is provided over here. Like you can see here that four choice pairs might include the following: learns fast, works hard. So here rater has to choose either learns fast or works hard. Suppose both the statements are not applicable for the employee, so maybe in that case the rater has no choice to either he has to select this one or this one. Work is reliable. The employee's work is reliable. Performance is good. Absence often and others usually tardy. So from these pairs of the statement, the rater has to forcefully choose anyone. So the advantage of this method is absence of the personal bias in the rating. So it may be possible that the rater is the bias. So through this method, the personal bias can be removed. And the disadvantage may not, the statement may not be descriptive of the ratee's trait. So maybe the some trait which is applicable to the that employee, but it is not present. Or it may be possible that the statement is there, but that particular trait is not applicable to that particular employee. So it happens in this method. Now, the next method that is also a quantitative method like ranking method, like rank order method. Here, in one department, the manager give the ranking from highest to the lowest to his subordinate. So the evaluator rates the group of employees from highest to the lowest on some overall criteria. Based on the overall criteria of the performance, he rates from highest to the lowest to the group of employees. 1, 2, 3, like this way. 1 means excellent performance. Like that way, he can give the ranking to the employees. So this is, but on the overall, based on the overall criteria. Pair comparison method. The name itself tells it is the comparison of the employee in pair. Here, comparison of the employee among the group of employees who are doing the same kind of jobs. So that's why I said the manager do this ranking method for his subordinate, those who are doing the same kind of jobs or work. So in pair comparison method, it is similar to the ranking method, but here in the ranking method, the ranking is given on the overall criteria, but here in the pair comparison method, we compare the each worker with the other on some specific trait. So for several traits, the traits are defined over here. So for several traits, pair comparisons are made and it is tabulated. And then rank is assigned to each worker. That means maybe honesty. Then compare A worker, B worker. Regularity, compare A worker, B worker. And in this you can provide the 1 0 like that way. You can assign the weights. This method is not applicable obviously when the group is large. Like see, suppose if there are 5 6 people of the same kind, you can do the pair comparison. But for the 10 15 group of people, it is a very tedious job for the rater to compare in a pair, or it may be a time consuming method. Next is the force distribution method. Before that force distribution method, we will have a look on this particular graph. This particular graph is a bell shape, or it is called as a normal distribution curve. Why it is called as a normal distribution curve? That means most of the people lies in the middle, and at extreme end only few peoples are lying. The same is happening in case of the performance. So the assumption behind this appraisal method that the performance of the employee follows the normal distribution. That means on an average, uh, average performers are uh, high in a population, and extremely good performer are very low, as well as extremely low performers are also very low. So that means it follows a normal distribution. So most of the employees performance are on an average. So on the based on that assumption, this method was developed. Forced distribution. We have seen forced choice. Now this is a forced distribution method. So the rater is asked to appraise the employee according to the predetermined distribution scale. So here this scale was already determined by the management. That means the 70 to 80% employees should lie in average, 10% in excellent, and 10 to 20% in the poor. So in this distribution, the rater has to rate the employee. Rater has to assess the employee. So this and for that, two criteria is used for the rating: job performance and the promotability. So the worker is placed either in between the three categories: excellent, good, and bad performance. Excellent, good, that is average, or bad performance. Or maybe company can decide 5 scales, 5 clusters, and excellent, very good, good, bad, very bad. So in that way also they can divide the distribution accordingly. So for example, the distribution requested with 10 to 20% in the top category, 70 to 80% in the middle, and 10% in the bottom. And the top ranked employees considered high potential employees and are often targeted for more rapid career and leadership development growth. So those who are rated in this category, that is a high potential or top ranked employees, the company may offer them a promotion. While in contrast, those ranked at the bottom are denied bonuses and the pay increase. They may be given probationary period to improve their performance, or it may be possible that 10-20% employees are let down by the company. See, this particular appraisal method was developed by the General Electric Company in 1990s, and many companies are using this particular uh, uh, appraisal method. Uh, and this is very popularly used because what happened, the rater maybe a rater assess the employee either on the high scale, or the strict rater assess the employee on a low scale. So to dissolve this kind of a drawback, this particular performance appraisal method come into existence, that is a force distribution methods. Or most of the time it happens that many appraiser give the rating to the in the average, so it will be a not benefited by the best performer. They feel it is a bias. So to dissolve all this kind of a drawback, this particular performance appraisal is devised, where the particular rating distribution is already decided by the employee, and based on that they can take a decision. That means if there are 10 to 20% poor performer, among that 10% they will not raise the salary. For the rest of the 10%, maybe they can let off that employees. So and this kind of a decision they can take. So as I said, this particular method was devised by the General Electric Company. So these companies are using or adopting similar policies in the appraisal methods. Now the next, all these methods are past oriented, as we have discussed in the first slide. So this is one more method in the past evaluation method, that is a group appraisal method. In the group appraisal method, employee is appraised by a group of appraisers, and here instead of one rater, there are a group of appraiser, and in that group of appraiser, who would be there, that is immediate supervisor, other supervisor who have a close contact with the employee's work, a manager or head of the department, consultant, or client, and they appraise the particular employee. Then field review technique. Here in this field review technique, the appraiser is not from the same department. The appraiser is from the outside the department, maybe from the central office or maybe from the HR department. The appraiser come to the department, and he take the information about the work performance of the particular employee from the immediate supervisor, from the group member, as well as from that particular employee. That particular appraiser who comes from the outside, he interviews with these people, and based on that he prepare the report of the performance appraiser. So the appraiser goes to the field. Field means on the job.